Hello, everybody. It's your guy, Preston, man. I'm here with a bunch of guests today, guys, for the H-Town Rundown Houston Rockets basketball podcast. Let's jump right to the intro. Hey guys, how's it going, everybody? Thank you for joining today on a beautiful, beautiful Friday afternoon with all your hosts today and special guest guys. So I'm here with my boy Ryan. I'm here with my boy Dante, and we got special guest Andy. Bro, Andy, how are you? Thank you for jumping on, man. I mean, we love to have you. You seem pretty knowledgeable in the Houston Rockets community. All that you got your own little podcast going on down there. So tell us about yourself a little bit. Tell us about the podcast. Tell us about you and why you're a Houston Rockets fan.
Well, first things first, man, I want to thank you guys so much for inviting me on the show. I love this show, and personally, I got to say, I have to admit, man, you guys are doing a fabulous job. But I want to let you guys know, let the populace know, my name is TJ. I have a podcast, as my main man Preston said. It is Clutch City Connect. I've been a Rockets fan for a very long time. I'll be turning 30 actually next Friday. And I've been a Rockets fan since I was able to pick up a basketball, probably around the age of 5 or 6. So I've been a Rockets fan for a very long time. And I was actually a basketball trainer for a while. Made a couple of connections here and there with guys like Phil Handy, who was a Lakers coach. He was a mentor to my mentor for basketball training, Brian McCormick. A couple of different guys here and there that I'm really cool with. But me and also my main man Aaron, shout out to Aaron, my co-host. We're just big Rockets fans, man. And at the end of the day, we all want that desired championship that the other 29 teams want as well, right? And
Yes,
I absolutely believe that the trajectory of this team that we have so far is going in the right direction towards that.
wow, that's beautiful, man. That came from the heart. A true Rockets fan, man. Well, thank you for joining us, man. It's so good to have another Rockets mind on there, and then also somebody who's kind of, has been in the community for a couple of years. Got a little bit of little age and wisdom to him. It's good to good to have that on us.
For sure.
Yeah, man. But thank you guys, Ryan and Dante. How are you guys, man? Are you guys excited for today? We ready to talk about all the fun and interesting traits?
Absolutely. TJ, I have a quick question for you, though. So I noticed that you're followed by the Rockets on Twitter, right? That's almost like being verified to me.
So there's a backstory.
No, tell me more about that. Like, did they just follow you randomly, or like, how did that happen?
Goodness, man, I don't know if Preston saw it or Coach Dante, any of you guys saw it, but it was a big hassle, man. A lot of people that I saw at the Rockets were following weren't even Rockets fans. A lot of guys were saying screw the Rockets and all kind of negative nonsense going towards the Rockets. And I'm like, okay, so what's this about? So we actually, me and Aaron tweeted at the Rockets Twitter every single day. And we had got a lot of people to tweet back at them like, hey, why you guys won't follow them back? They're Rockets fans. You see that, right? So finally the Rockets Twitter actually followed me and Aaron back. And that was wonderful. Crazy thing though, I have another Twitter account that I don't use. The Detroit Pistons follow me on there. Never asked. They just followed me on there. So that's odd. Britney Spears follows me on there too. I don't know what that's about. But just going on to say, man, support goes a long way. I think when the Rockets see stuff like that, man, it especially if it's positive, they follow along with that,
For sure, man. For sure. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Good question, Ryan. We love to see it, man. We love to see it. It is good to have someone who is followed by the Rockets. I mean, if only they knew that we were all Rockets fans and they would just follow us. But one of these days, right?
You know what? Let's get something going, man. Let's get a little follow train. Let's tweet at the Rockets until something happens. They need to be following all three of you guys as well.
Yes, sir.
And with Rockets Twitter, I'll say this: that just goes along with community stuff, right? Following fans, the best fans, the biggest of the fans, guys that you actually know are watching the games, paying attention to what's going on with the team, et cetera, right? It just makes sense instead of following somebody who's a Oklahoma City Thunder fan saying, "Yeah, uh, James Harden eats Play-Doh at night or something weird. Jalen Green sleeps with his teddy bear at night." Just all kind of weird stuff that other fans say to get under player skin and stuff like that. Just of different unnecessaries, but yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, guys, let's get this started, right? So, as the Houston Rockets podcast here, this is the H-Town Rundown. Be sure to follow us on the X app. Be sure to follow us on YouTube. Hopefully, that's where you guys are watching, is on our YouTube channel at the H-Town Rundown. We also have an Instagram, same name over there. And yeah, you can be sure to follow me, your main host, Drip, 2Ps_PAWD, right on over on the X app. Be sure to follow our boy AD down here. Our boy Andy at TJ Anderson NBA. Our boy Ryan at Ryan DIAM 15 on the X app, guys. He's also got an Instagram. Check him out over there. And then Dante, man, check him out, bro. He got a lot of stuff going on over there. He got a YouTube and everything, guys. Check it all out at Coach Dante 31. Check him out on all platforms, guys. Let's bust right down into it, right? So we talked about quite a lot of players to draft. I'm sure Andy over there has done quite an extensive amount of talking about who he wants for Houston to draft. But today we're going to talk about Donovan Clingan. He's a guy he's a big man, right? He's pretty good in the few minutes he played per game. He went to UConn. He's about 265, so he's got that kind of NBA center body. Not to mention he is 7'2", so he's already he's a couple inches shorter than Wimby, but he's got like 80 pounds on him. So I just want to put that out there. He's a fantastic defender in the few minutes he's played. Per 100 possessions, he's averaging 31 points, 25 boards, and 8 blocks a game. So for 100 possessions, if he's carrying the ball down the court, he's a guy that's actually pretty reliable in terms of like the minute man. And we've already got a guy in Cam Whitmore who's our true minute man, who's able to just produce in the few minutes he got this year. And we saw those minutes climb, and as those climbed, all his stats climbed. He started passing the ball at the end of the year. So it's something that we can maybe see from Clingan. But we want to know, is he going to fit on the team if we pick him at 3? Is he going to be a guy that's going to be on the bench his whole career? Like, what do we want to do with this pick 3? So I want your guys' takes. Donovan Clingan, first off, yes or no? If he's at 3 and say Reed is gone and we're not going to trade it, are you taking Clingan, or are you just moving back to see what else we can get, right? And then so let's start with Andy. What do you think about Clingan? Like overall, because in a vacuum.
Overall, in a vacuum, I do like Clingan. I feel like he'll be a serviceable big in the league. My thing is with someone that was pretty good in college, like he was, you typically want to draft him as somebody that you're going to kind of look for in the starting lineup. Mm-hmm. You don't want to have someone like that who's going to especially on this team, the makeup of this team is going to kind of essentially rot on the bench or essentially play in the G League away from the team. He doesn't need that type of development. He needs to be on a team that is looking for a starting center that he's going to be able to either potentially get a lot of minutes year one. Look at that thumbs up. Year one off the bench and get a lot of minutes off the bench, or potentially start. So I think as far as the Rockets are concerned, I think they should defer away from Clingan and look at other options. That's from a logical standpoint. Not to mention, not to cut you off, I'm sorry, we have our starting center in Şengün. So it doesn't really make too much sense. And yes, I get the point of Steven Adams, but Steven Adams is that kind of in between where he can start or he can come off the bench and provide some awesome minutes. He can set screens really well. So that's somebody that I feel like that I think the Rockets should defer on this year and look at other options.
For sure. That's kind of what we're in the same boat at. Ryan, you want to tell me what your thoughts on Clingan? You know, like I mean, he's a fantastic defensive presence, but kind of like Andy said, like he's someone who's gonna have to play on the bench if he plays for us. But he's like a starting caliber player, like he played like I don't know on a bad team like the Hornets or the Wizards or maybe even the Spurs.
TJ stole the words from me, word by word. I mean, there's really not much more I can add to that. Because yeah, he if we drafted him, he's just going to sit on our bench. Mm-hmm. We have Tari, we have Steven Adams off our bench as our big men. We don't need a third string big man right now.
We got Jack
to sit there and rot.
Watch the landing zone, man. We got Landale.
Yeah, we have Landale. I'm not the biggest fan of Landale, but we have him.
We got him. Hey, you know, he's a jack of all trades. That's why he's the jock. You know? A good old jock.
I'll keep my opinions about Jock Landale to myself here. No, but what I do think is that let's say that obviously Sars can go first. So let's say in the scenario that Reed goes second, I want Rissasher. I think I'm pronouncing that right. That's who I would want with that third pick if Sar and Reed are gone.
Okay, all right.
I think Rissasher could get some minutes. I mean, more minutes than Clingan would.
For sure, yeah. I mean, he's from what he looks like, he could definitely play. You know, the 4. We could slide Jabari down to the 3, or again, vice versa. He's skinny enough to where he could play the 3 effectively. But let me hold you on that thought right there, because I do want to come back to this guy. He seems very, very interesting. Dante, I want your thoughts on Clingan, man. I mean, kind of like what we talked about. He's going to sit on the bench a lot, but he's got that potential to be at medium a Nick Claxton, right? And that's a guy that is, I think, pretty solid. I really like Claxton, but is it going to be worth it to draft a Nicholas Claxton, at pick 3?
Not for this squad. Not for this squad. When you got LP coming on as a superstar of this team, and when you got Steven Adams, people forget Steven Adams is fucking good at rebounding. He's one of the best offensive rebounders in the league. He's very strong inside. He can set good screens, and he's going to burn some of those minutes. He's going to take a lot of pressure off LP as well. So people forgotten about that only because he was hurt over there in Memphis. People starting to forget about how good his game was. Great pick and roll guy. I think if Reed Shepherd is not there at number 2, I will consider moving down for another guy that I will be talking about on one of my draft picks is Don't Connect. A great. I think for us having a shooter on this team, I think we need another shooter. And Don't Connect will fit the bill for what the Rockets want to do, for what the Rockets want to do for our shooting, having that versatility. I think I'm gonna getting more into him later in his game, his overall game. But I think for us right now, I like Donovan Clingan. He definitely is a good size big man, definitely can rebound, protect the rim. But for us, what we got right now, Alp and Steven Adams, and especially Steven Adams, knowing he's going to come back with a full season. I like that. I like that big man lineup. And then in case someone go down, guess what? We still got our guy, Jock Landale. Waiting right there, peeking through the window. So other than that, I like our big man lineup right now.
For sure. One more thing on Clingan before we move on. I want to talk about this Richard Sark first. Clingan in 13 minutes per game averaged 2 blocks a game. I just want to put that out there. He's 7'7" wingspan, standing reach, not jumping, standing reach, 9'6". That's like Boban. But like he moves well on the floor. He's able to guard the pick. Like the thing that I like about him, he's a traditional big man, but he does new age big man defensive schemes. He can come up and guard you from like the free throw line a little bit, kind of around that area, right? Like if you're drafting him, you're not asking him to score. You're asking him to be Walker Kessler 2.0. You're asking him to be like a little bit better Nicholas Claxton. You're asking him to like for his potential, right? I mean, it's just really hard to pass up on him. I know we need shooting, and that is our biggest thing. So that's what we need to focus on. But man, if we had another pick in this draft, oh boy, I would love this guy Clingan. There's just too much to like about him defensively that you say no for, right? It's just unfortunate that we actually have a really good defensive team where your backcourt is Fred VanVleet and Jalen Green, or your front court. It is very interesting. Yeah, I think that's all we've got for Clingan. I do hope that there is a way that we can move down and select Reed if a team wants Reed or wants Clingan or another player at 3. We should slide down and try to get our guy. Now, Ryan here brought up a guy. This is Rishishar. He's a pretty lengthy, pretty athletic, kind of an all-around kind of guy from what it looks like. An okay playmaker from his time over there. But his scoring and flashes are what's really interesting. He's got that high upside. So go ahead and tell me about this guy, Ryan.
Ime Udoka player.
Ime Udoka player. Yeah. Okay.
Athletic, fast, long wingspan. Ime Udoka player. It's literally perfect for him.
For sure. I mean, he seems pretty good. I'm looking at him on.
And also, France has been making some freak athletes recently. I mean, obviously got Wemby, Mbappe. I mean, I would say Gobert, but what was that? What was the wall that France made in World War I that was supposed to keep the German tanks from not going in? What was that wall called?
Oh Lord, not the Giannis wall. I'll tell you that.
Let me look it up quickly, because when I was on my internship yesterday at ESPN Radio, some guy on the radio, I think it was Joe George. He mentioned a wall that France made and compared Rudy Gobert to it, because that wall was an intimidation wall that didn't actually work.
Hey man, look.
So I'm comparing Rudy Gobert to that. I mean,
regardless, Gobert, he's a 4-time defensive player of the year. He got diced up by the best offensive player in the league. That's just what happens. I mean, there's a rare time where the best defensive player of the year is going to be able to clamp down to the best offensive player of the year. They're going to make them work for their bucket for sure, but offense always beats defense.
The Maginot line. That's what that wall was called.
Line. Oh, Lord.
That's what Rudy Gobert is in the NBA.
Oh, my. This Rishishar guy, though, 10 points on 4 boards, 2.6 a game, 2.6 assists a game.
He's also a freak athlete.
Yeah, 6'8". Had true shooting of 66.4%. Efficiency is something that some of our guys lack, so maybe they can learn something from him. I like his ability to pass. He reads the pick and roll pretty well. And, for having the size of a forward, he really kind of moves like a fluid wing. I compare it to like Kuzma, Kyle Kuzma, right? Not like that it's a 1-to-1, but like Kyle Kuzma, he's a 3, he's a 4, but he's a 4, he's a 6'8", 6'9", 4 that moves like a really, really tall 3. And that's what I like about him. He can slide through screens. He's kind of skinny enough, but he's got that length. I mean, 6'8", man.
That's exactly what I can't pronounce his last name.
Rishishar.
Yeah.
And he's a good rim protector. What are your guys' thoughts on Rishishar? It's just kind of Ryan and I. Interject. Let us know. What are you guys thinking?
So as far as with the Rockets community, they like to call him Zachary R, because no one really knows how to pronounce his last name, and I'm going to shy away from that too, because I've been wrong myself. But with Zach, he's a solid player, man. And the comparison that we've seen so far that I think is spot on is Michael Porter Jr., who can actually play defense. I see that in his game. I think he's a very solid player, and I think that's somebody that I'm really wanting at 3, but it's predicted that he might not fall past 2. But as far as with him, I love his game. I absolutely love his game. Could work on the handle. Like I was a skills trainer, so of course a lot of these things I would say, like, he could work on his handle, make his handle tighter. actually be at a 90-degree angle when he's driving to the hole instead of being so high because you have a higher possibility of getting picked, stuff like that. But just on the surface, I love Zachary, man. He's a baller. He's a true baller, and you can see it in his game. You can see it when he's on the court. He shows that ability to, hey, if the team needs a three, I'm gonna go to get a three. Right. If we need a dunk or whatever, it doesn't matter. He's gonna go out there and go get it. That's an Ime guy.
Yeah, I'm just gonna add on to what you said about the Michael Porter Jr. Comparison. This season, he averaged 10.9 points, I think, and 0.9 assists. Michael Porter Jr. player.
Shoot first, pass, and what is that?
Michael never swing the rock, Porter Jr. Michael, the possession ends here, Porter Jr.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of already have one. We got Cam
Whitmore.
We
have Cam Whitmore.
But
I love Cam Whitmore.
And here's my thing with Zach is I like him. My issue is, again, like with drafting any of these guys, no matter what position they're gonna play, like who's losing minutes? Who's getting the cut? And we just saw what Amen and Cam did, right? So there's no way that we want to let them get less minutes.
I can interject and say who's losing minutes.
Oh,
Jock Landale.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen it.
He lost minutes when Steven Adams came in. So that's his minutes lost. He losing minutes when Steven Adams came in. Yeah,
good.
That's his minutes.
Let's keep it that way.
Oh my. And look, and then like Tate, his minutes are to Cam, right? And some of those Tate minutes were also Tari minutes. So Tari's coming back, right? Cam is probably losing minutes right there, right? I mean, there's only 48 minutes in a game. Who's getting minutes? Who's going where? And it just
we keep
obviously
we keep minimal minutes, and then we build a dynasty and start winning championships like the Warriors and Nuggets did.
Don't compare us to the Warriors. And the Nuggets have only won a championship. They are not a dynasty. They won a chip and lost in 7.
Okay, well, what I'm saying is that they built the draft and built a very good team through the draft.
I think Cam Whitmore still get his minutes. I think him and Tari get their minutes. I think they get their minutes. I think if Jayshawn Tate does stay on this team, God forbid he doesn't stay on this team at all. I've been wanting him gone since last year. But I think Udoka will figure it out since Cam played so well. And by the way, he did get he didn't play. He played only about how many games? About 53 games. You have to play like 67 or so. So I'm a guess that's the only reason he got snubbed off the second team. Off the all second team, I'm gonna guess that's what it was because there ain't nowhere in hell that Casey Wallace was better than him. And, He makes it on the all second team. Ain't nowhere in the world though some of those guys that made it on that all second team was better than Cam Whitmore this season. But I'm gonna guess because of the games he didn't play, that was the reason why he probably got snubbed off that second team.
It makes sense why Amen didn't make the all defensive team because I can't name 3 guards that played better defense than him. And he played the 1 through 5, so you could have put him anywhere on that. I don't know. Amen should have been all-team second for sure.
Is it a hot take to say that Amen has the highest ceiling on our team?
I won't say it's a hot take, but it's a take for sure. It's a take for sure. I can't agree with you, but I see the thought process there. I see that. So Zach, let's go back to Zach real quick before we move on. If he's available at 3, are we taking him? Like, is that like what
absolutely,
we're doing?
Absolutely, in a heartbeat. You run the card up there. You run it up there. And he's a great shooter too. Oh yeah, I'm taking.
I'm gonna tell you something though. As far as with Zachary, I know we have a lot of forwards. One thing you'll learn in the NBA, the way the system is now, you can never have too many ball handlers. You can never have too many forwards, especially the ones that can shoot, play defense, lengthy, wiry, all those code names that they like to use to evaluate players now. You can never have too many ball handlers. You can never have too many forwards. You can never have too many forwards that can play defense and shoot the 3-ball very well.
True. I mean, look at what's his name was going for the Knicks. OG Anunoby. I mean, they like the Raptors wanted like 3 first-round picks in a player for him, and like, no, you're high. I don't know what you're smoking if you think you're getting 3 firsts in a player. But like, also like, he's so valuable. Teams considered it. They're like,
Yep.
maybe. And I'm glad nobody did that, because that would have been.
I'm always go back to this statement from what I heard. If you can shoot the basketball, you're gonna last long in the league.
Yeah.
Dirk Nowitzki lasted long in the league when he got older because what he can shoot. I mean, Vince Carter had all that athleticism, but once he started shooting the basketball, that made him last longer in the league. So any guy that can play defense, and if not, you can just shoot the ball, you're gonna last longer. So that's why I run that card up there in the heartbeat.
Let me piggyback off of you and use an example. Vince Carter, right?
Yep.
What happened with Allen Iverson? What happened when all that speed went away?
Oh, when all that speed went away, his production went away. It started going away.
He had his tenure with the Grizzlies, and he was done.
That was it. Yep.
That was it.
That's my favorite player of all time, Vince Carter.
Mine too. We actually share the same birthday too.
Oh,
really? I have like the 2001 purple pinstripe alternate jersey signed by Vince Carter hanging up in my room right now. Yeah, I love Vince Carter.
Andy, I got a question.
What's that?
Since you got the same birthday as him, you have the same athleticism as he did? Were you doing like arm and the hoop and all that?
No, I'm talking about Allen Iverson, not Vince Carter.
Oh. So did you cross your brother up on the 3-point and then step over him?
Man, you know what? I crossed him up, stepped over him, shot the shot, did the Steph Curry look away. I already knew it went in, and that was a pretty good dream that I had, man. But
oh, yes, sir. The answer, man. I love reminiscing. So, Andy, Coach, you guys got one player you want to talk about. Let's start with Dante here. Dante, you said you got a guy. There's a draftee you're interested in.
Yep.
I assume we would be trading down for him in this hypothetical. So go ahead, tell me about this guy.
Well, I'm gonna tell you guys about Dalton Connect, who I personally like, a guard out of Tennessee. Guy's 23 years of age, 6'6", 213 pounds, pretty big combo guard that can shoot the basketball, and that got a lot of versatility. He averaged 20 points per game for the Tennessee Volunteers. He played it with a great head coach with Rick Barnes, who teaches defense, versatility, and shooting. I think Dalton Connect will be a great fit up on his team, and I think he has an opportunity to come in off the bench and play. I'm assuming you don't need him to play right away because you do got Tari, you do got Cam Whitmore, but if developed the right way, the guy can be a rotational piece off of the bench, man. But I like his size. You know, Ime Udoka love that size as well. He loves guys with size that with long arms that can play good defense. But Dalton Connect, one thing about him, he's a guard. He's a wing player too, so you can put him on the wing as well. So I like Dalton Connect, man, especially his shooting ability, and he's got a pretty good handle for the basketball, and he can also penetrate and go to the rim, man. So Dalton Connect, one of my favorite players coming up out of this draft. So we consider moving down. That's who I would consider for the Rockets to take. Like I said, I think we need shooting on this team, man. We need shooting on the team. I think we're pretty good at the center position for what we got. Power forward position, you can make an argument we can go that route, but I think more of a shooter and a wing and probably a wing player, when we go on those struggles late stages in game, we'll have someone that can knock down an open 3-pointer, and Dalton Connect definitely do that.
Yeah, I'm seeing he's a 40% 3-point shooter. Averaged about 21, 5, and 2. So he's not passing that thing at all. But I mean, in 30 minutes a game, shooting 40% from 3, that's a lot to like. But again, he said the same thing about Jabari, and his rookie year was interesting. Very, very interesting. Now, again, that was with Smiley. So
that was Steven Silas, who didn't know what the hell he was doing, actually. Didn't know how
so it could be he could come out and shoot lights out, right? It's just sometimes it's really hard to determine if they're going to end up being a thing. But, I mean, you make a good case for Connect. Would you choose Connect over Donovan Clingan?
Yes. Because of the fit of the squad, yes, I would definitely choose him over Donovan Clingan. I think I'll set a position straight. I mean, where's Donovan Clingan gonna play outside of right away outside of getting better at the G League? When you got Steven Adams, who's one of the best rebounders when he plays in the game, and he's very good at pick and roll situation. He can set good screens. He's very tough and he's very strong inside. And you got players even come out and say that about Steven Adams. So then, in case someone get hurt, we got our boy Jock Landale in the helm. So it's going to be hard for Donovan Clingan to get those minutes where you have Don't Connect, who's a very good shooter, 6'6". I mean, like his size is very good, and he's a shooter. So he's had the potential to be in a rotation more than Donovan Clingan has because of our big man role. And by the way, Don't Connect has an opportunity to play more than Donovan Clingan has.
Yeah, I mean, you could see Dalton Connect. He's like a 6'6" guy, right? I'm making 2.6 threes a game. In college, that's pretty huge to make over a 3.5. So the fact that he's making almost 3 threes a game is huge. Something that I like about him is like he could be like, I don't want to say like a Seth Curry, but like a bigger, like I don't know the player that I'm thinking of, but just like I don't want to say Ray Allen because that's too much of that's way too much of a title, but like a much better Seth Curry, right? And Seth Curry, good shooter, just can't do anything else,
So Kyle Korver.
Yeah, that's a better comparison. Thank you. See, ball.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Ball. He said, "Yeah, you're welcome." Yeah. That's a much better comparison.
I think he can be a better Kyle Korver though, because he can put the ball on the floor. He actually can put the ball on the floor. Kyle Korver, outside of using screens and coming out pin downs, that's all he can really do. But Don't Connect can actually put the ball on the floor and create a shot. So yeah, a better Kyle Korver, a better Kyle Korver.
For sure. Yeah, put that out on the draft profile. NBA, Houston Rockets, if you guys are listening, Coach Dante said better Kyle Korver. All right, so that's a 10 poster there. Andy, I'm interested. You got a guy. You've been sitting so quiet, just agreeing and laughing to what we're saying. So go ahead. What you got for us, man? What you got for us?
Man, you know what? Coach Dante, I actually like that pick. I actually have 4 guys, and he was actually one of the 4 guys that I would like in a trade down scenario. I have 3. I know I can only give 1. You
can name all of them. Just talk about one specifically.
So the 3 players that I actually have down, like I told you, remember the statement I made? You can never have too many forwards. You can never have too many guards that can handle the ball. So I have 3 names. I have Cody Williams. Look at that thumbs up again, Ryan Allen. And I also have Isaiah Collier. You saw my post.
USC, Isaiah Collier. Yep.
I love Isaiah Collier. Let me talk about him, right?
Yes, tell me about this guy.
Number 1, big guard, right? Big guard, broad shoulders. He can handle the rock. I mean, he can finish around the rim. He's not a solid shooter from outside, but shooting to me, and this is just something that I've learned, is that it doesn't have to be something that you come into the NBA doing, like being a great shooter. It's something that can come with time. Also, you have to keep in mind that we do have one of the best shooting coaches in the league in Ben Sullivan. That is his job. That is what he gets paid to do, to work with players on their shooting, on their form, gather, release point. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, he has to work with them on it. So the fact of the matter is, if we can get Isaiah Collier in a later pick him in the middle of the draft, whatever, and work with him on his shooting, he already has the handle. I think he could be a solid contributor on this team, especially knowing that Van Vliet, this might be his last season here as a Houston Rocket. If you're going to have Ahmed Thompson coming in and being that next man up guy in the starting lineup, you want to have a solid backup behind him.
I agree, and that's really fair. I mean, I'm looking at some of his stats here. Average 16 points a game, 4 assists, and 3 boards. So he can dish the rock while getting his own bucket, and he's averaging a steal and a half a game. So he's playing either the passing lanes or he's playing on-ball defense pretty well, bumping guards. What really intrigues me is he shot 34% from three, despite not being known as a three-point shooter, right? League average is 35.
That's pretty good though. That ain't bad.
That's very good.
That's not terrible. You know, if he comes out shooting 33%, 32% even, his shot's real. His shot is real. If that's what he shoots on the year, that's real. But it's the 49% from the field. He averaged 16 points. Not a three-point shooter, averaged almost 50% from the field, right? And the free throw disparity, 67% in college. I mean, you know, like, you know, but the 49% on 16 points is huge for being just a guard. So he's getting to the bucket easily, minimum. He's got an okay mid range, right? I saw some plays like he can hit the mid range. You know, come off a screen, kind of at that elbow. Something we'll work on. Like you said, we have a pretty good shooting coach, but I mean, we saw what that did for Dylan Brooks. It gave him a little too much confidence, and he went from shooting 60% to 35% by the end of the season. You know, and then we saw what it did for Jalen Green, right? You know, could not hit anything at the beginning of the season, and then his usual self popped up in March and did something that, you know, we haven't seen. Yeah, we haven't seen that from Rockets fans as a guard since, you know, like James Harden was here. You know, just doing crazy shit I never seen before. That game against OKC was just literally nasty. You know, so he could be a really nice piece. Again, my only question is like, how is he going to get minutes, right? Like, it's not that he couldn't get minutes, right? This guy seems like he could get minutes, and he's kind of like what you guys have been saying. Like, that's that Ime guy. You know, he's a hustler. You know, he's 205 for a 6'3" guard. You know, like you said, broad shoulders. But is he getting minutes over Jalen, over Amen, over Cam? You know, the only thing I see it happening is if you're reducing Fred's minutes, but you're reducing that by like what, 3 minutes, right? Like, you need Fred. We saw what it looked like without Fred, and that was, we will never ever do that again until Amen can start to become more of this playmaker that we know he can be. It's just it's very interesting. That's a very, very interesting guy. I had seen some of his highlights going around, so he's a guy you're thinking to trade down for. Okay, he's gonna be like a late.
I want to ask you something though before you do more. You got to think about it. With this team, who are the primary ball handlers on the team that actually have a solid handle, that don't lose the ball?
Yeah, you got Fred.
Amen.
You got Fred. You got Fred. You got Fred.
Yeah.
Fred, that's it. Yep. He ain't gonna turn
now,
the ball over like that.
To your point, Ryan, Amen is okay.
Thank you, AD.
But he still has a ways to go. He still has a ways to go on the handle.
Amen's handle it's not like bad. It's just
not bad.
But he has a forward handle. He needs.
Am I the only person between us four that sees him running up and down the court and sees him dribbling the ball in between four defenders and posterizing people? Am I the only one out of us four? You see him?
No. You're seeing him on fast breaks. We're talking just in the half court.
Just like
just in the half court.
Just in the half court.
Okay.
Pick and roll offense.
Like, yeah.
Now, when you're on the fast break and you're that's fine. You know,
you got people scrambling on the fast break. You got people.
But at the same time, like in the fast break, like Shaq is handling the ball. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's not like like I see Shaq doing some, or Paul Gasol doing some, like, you know what I mean? It's the
Jock Landale doing that.
It's Jock Landale don't got the green light.
He doesn't have any green light. He's full red light.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So it's
my black light. Just get him off the team.
No, man.
My dude had a good plane ticket. Is what he about to get.
Man,
he's the one that caused the accident.
He was big in the second half of the season for us. He was big in the second half of the season. He was real big.
It was. But Andy, please continue. Yes. So like overall, I agree. Like yes, in the fast break. Shout out AD, by the way. This is the podcast owner. He's a goof. We love him on the channel. Get off his jock, please. Pause for real.
AD, maybe you should get off of Jalen Green's, all right?
My bad,
AD. He hasn't said anything about Jalen this whole time.
No, I will not forget what he said last podcast. Or 2 podcasts ago. I'm sorry, AD, but what you said about Jalen Green, I don't tolerate Jalen Green disrespect.
Yeah, I love to see this guy talk to Rockets culture on Twitter. I'd love to see him talk to
Hey
that
guys,
crusty guy.
I'm gonna tell you something, guys. When it comes to Jalen Green, yeah, Şengün, if Şengün's playing at a very high level, it brings the team up. But if Jalen Green becomes that guy, this team gets astronomically
That's
better.
what I'm
It's not
saying.
even
Yep.
close.
Yeah, it gets
He
dangerous.
doesn't
Yep.
have to
Yep.
be that guy even. He just needs to be 80%.
Eighty
He just
percent.
needs to be efficient, 22 points per game score. That's all we're asking. Everything else moves. That's it, minimum.
Mm-hmm.
If he's anything above that, we're like one of the greatest teams of all time. But
Absolutely.
and we're chilling on that. Don't let my hot takes get to y'all. Andy,
I love that take.
Isaiah Collier, that's our guy. You want to move down to trade for him? What kind of thing? Like I'm seeing like the late to mid first round, right? So I'm seeing anywhere from as high as late lottery, so like 14, 15, 16, all the way down to 27 and 28. So would you be comfortable moving, say, like to pick 20?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
But to me, with Collier, after 12, that's a steal.
Yep.
He's a steal after 12. If he don't get in that like mid, he's a steal at that point. And I think that's a little dangerous because if he goes to somewhere like the Miami Heat or somewhere, that's unfair.
You know what? 80. Gonna settle this off the pod.
I want to make one more point. And it
Yes.
said, and TJ said something about the shooting, which is I agree with on. That's why I brought up last week Stephon Castle, because again, I look at him, but I look at what the main thing stuck out to me, that his free throw shooting was 75%. That what gives me a lot of hope. That he will be able to pull a 3-pointer at he can get better at that 3. So that's why, when we talking about, everybody was saying, Amen Thompson, now we don't want him last year because he couldn't shoot. And he found other ways to impact the game without even being a shooter. And there was certain games that, when we needed a 3, he knocked it down. I mean, that Brooklyn game when he hit that 3-pointer and got us within 1 before Jayshawn Tate did whatever he needed to do. Make sure we didn't win that game. And then that Sacramento game when he hit that corner 3 when he was on the run. Amen Thompson does show some stability to knock it down, but that's why I brought on Stephon Castle as well. By him being a 75% free throw shooter, I think he has the ability to improve on that 3-point shot.
Absolutely.
I'm done talking about Tate. I just think of his step back 3.
I was done
That's
talking
another player.
about Tate 2 years ago, bro.
After you shot that 3-point, I was like, yeah. That was it.
Yeah.
But okay, this might be jumping the gun a bit because we haven't got into trade talk yet. But here's what I'm thinking. Obviously, I'm thinking we trade the 3rd, we trade TB, and we trade Tate for Mikal Bridges, right? Do y'all think Mikal Bridges would be okay with taking a minute cut to give the younger players more minutes?
No.
Well, if we're trading Dylan Brooks, Jock and Tate, right? Hypothetically, you can play him at the 4 as well. And I'm not saying that Jabari should lose minutes, but I wouldn't mind him losing 2 or 3 minutes, 4 minutes a night. If it means we can play smaller ball, right? Fred, Jalen, Cam, Mikal, and Şengün, or that same lineup, but instead of Şengün, Steven Adams. There's a lot of lines you can do with Mikal Bridges. I wouldn't mind it, and I don't know how you guys feel. Again, I love Jabari, so this isn't any Jabari hate. I wouldn't mind him seeing a few minutes reductions if we got Mikal Bridges, or even Jalen Green. Instead of playing Jalen Green 34 minutes a night, 31 minutes a night.
I'm strongly against that one.
I understand, and that's absolutely valid. But AD's right in terms of pay. He's looking for a payday. The question is he even going to get it? Because if he stays with the Nets, like I mean, are the Nets even going to pay him?
I don't think he's gonna stay.
You know what I mean? Because they're not winning. He was in the finals, right? He was so excited to be the man when he went over to the Nets, and then they didn't make the playoffs, whatever. And then this year he's looked depressed. He's looked sad. He reminds me of Eric Gordon when he was here that second year in the rebuild. He looks sad. He looks done. Like right now, if we're trading for him, this is probably the lowest his trade value is going to be right now. I think next year his trade value is going to be better because there's going to be an extension that they could sign and trade him away for. This year they can't do that. If we're trading for him, this is the lowest is going to be. I don't think he's going to be less than 20 million. I also don't think he's going to be more than 28 million. I think he's going to sit along that 28 million dollars pretty finely for 3 years. Fine by me. But in this hypothetical, yeah, AD, yeah, you right. Yeah, you right.
You see, AD.
Yeah, it looked like Drake on the thick album. Yeah, he right. But that would be interesting. So you'd be interested in trading Jock and Tate on top of 3 and Brooks for Mikal Bridges. What if we did Tate, one of our second rounds this year, 3 and Brooks, and a future Nets first pick, like the 2025 next year, right? For Mikal and a future Suns pick, the 2027 or 2029 future round Suns pick. Because let's think about it. Kevin Durant, yeah, he's got like 3 years on him, right? Or he's quitting again. I mean, everyone talks about James Harden being a quitter. No, Kevin Durant's a quitter. He got a max contract and left out of there. Bradley Beal did the same thing. He got $500 million and said, all right, I'm out.
I'll be damned.
So it's just quite interesting. Yes, they both will get out of here. We have to manage our assets accordingly, though, so we can get their full value out of them. But so would you guys be interested in trading, not necessarily the Nets pick for next year, but would you be interested in trading a Nets pick on top of 3 and Dylan Brooks for Mikal Bridges and a future Suns pick? Because the Suns are like right there waiting to explode. They're like right there, Would that be something you guys are interested in? Go ahead and just, anyway.
Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah. I think it's only a amount of time before the Suns self-destruct. So I believe they will end up self-destructing, and that pick will definitely look good for us. And when we getting out of Mikal Bridges, we getting a 19-point per game score and a solid 3-point shooter, at least a 36% 3-point shooter. That's pretty good. He's always been consistent with that 3, and you're getting a great defender too. So Ime Udoka loves these great defenders, those guys who's 6'7" and long defender that can shoot the basketball. That fits right onto this team, and you're gonna have variety of people playing 3 or 4. What if it's Cam Whitmore playing the 4 sometime in the small ball lineup? Tyree Easton, we already seen him play the 4 in the small ball lineup. So if Jabari Smith ain't on any given night, you can get either one of those guys playing the small ball 4 and LP out there orchestrating the offense.
Yeah, exactly that. There's also a world where you're like playing a complete 5-out offense with Jabari at the 5, Mikal at the 4, and you could have Cam and Tari out on the same time with Fred VanVleet.
With the men.
Yeah, or a men, So it he's right. He's not wrong. That's what we thought originally. But now we can get it and keep Jalen. So
I'm all for it.
You know what I mean? Like it is a win-win, I think, in this scenario. And I think Mikal is probably going to be the guy out of all the trades that we've done besides Paul George. I think Mikal is going to be 1, fits timeline-wise, 2 is going to fit the most seamlessly, and 3 be the cheapest option we're going to have without trying to go for just depth. And as much as Mikal Bridges is better offensively than Dylan Brooks, I think they're around the same level defensively. So we're not losing or gaining too much of a plus or minus value there. But playmaking wise, Mikal is a I want to say a playmaker as an assister, but he's a willing passer. He doesn't need the rock. He played alongside Devin Booker and Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton, right? And TJ Warren. You know what I
You're
mean?
getting a more efficient score. You're just getting someone that's more efficient and don't need the ball in his hands to actually be effective and a great shooter. That's just basically what you're getting.
I saw it. Go ahead.
All right.
So I saw AD's comment about staying away from Phoenix. I've been disagreeing with AD too much, so I think on this one I'll side with him, and I think I'll defend him on this one. I think with Phoenix, it's really hard to tell because a future pick, yeah, Kevin Durant will probably be gone. Beal's going to be gone. The thing is Booker going to attract more stars that can be play alongside him, or is he going to leave? Thank you, AD. There's a lot of different things that are up in the air with Phoenix going forward. But if we keep that next Nets pick, it's pretty much a guaranteed lottery.
For sure. And so we still have the 2026 pick swap. And then we also have the 2027, or no, we have the 2026 outright, and then 2027 pick swap. I believe.
Imagine we keep them and just start trading them every year. We could do that too. We could keep the picks and start trading them every year too.
And that's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. My question is, like, and this is all hypothetical, right? So that's why we're this is the fun think tank. If KD and Beal leave, right? Who's going to want to play alongside a star who can play make, but played alongside Chris Paul and had the number 1 pick in DeAndre Ayton and whined about DeAndre Ayton? One of the better, like solidly better pick and roll bigs who was underutilized because Devin Booker's game isn't pick and roll, right? Like pick and roll as in setting up the big man. It's pick and roll. Let me hunt my shot, right? Comparative to Luka, when he's got pick and roll, Derek Lively just doesn't miss a shot. You know what I mean? So, you know, there are kind of levels to this. Obviously, anyone wants to play alongside a guy who's been to the finals, but also, you know, can score 30, 40 any night. But the issue is, like, he's going to have to leave the Suns if he's going to want to play with somebody because they've seen the organization, how they treat their players, how they were willing to trade away Chris Paul, who took them to the finals, for Bradley Beal, which what does Beal even do other than average 8 points a game? That's what Chris Paul was averaging. Chris Paul was averaging 10 anyway, and Beal makes $80 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what happened with Bradley Beal? He used to be so good, but again, he was on the Wizards.
No, he was good next to Russell Westbrook because Russell Westbrook makes his teammates better. Beal hasn't done anything by himself.
I'm all for the Russell Westbrook.
Not enough basketballs on the court.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And Devin Booker hasn't done nothing by himself either.
True.
He hasn't really done nothing by himself.
Booker's
Chris Paul, like every team Chris Paul goes to, is just seem like he's a focal point. It just seems like the team immediately gets better every team he goes to. Like you think about that OKC team when they supposed to be in a lottery team, even with them on there, they almost beat us in a 7-game series.
Yeah, except James Harden jumped over the ball thrown by Lou Dort. I will never forget where I was watching that.
That man goes to Phoenix the very next year after Phoenix had an 8-0 bubble and Portland was end up beating them out. The next year they in the NBA final. They comes in the NBA. They get to the NBA final. I can take you way back when the Clippers was terrible. He gets traded out. They get better outside of just never making it to the Western Conference Finals. And like I say, Chris Paul has some good moments there, man. Like I say, but I just want to say, I mean, Devin Booker hasn't. For him to be a superstar, he hasn't won anything by himself either. I can take that to Karl Anthony Towns. He hasn't won anything by himself either as the main option. So I think it's a question you can make. Can Devin Booker win? Can Devin Booker take you far as a number 1 option? I don't think he showed that yet.
Mm-hmm. Man, you was right, man. And CP did the best thing for us by stopping the Warriors. Thank you, Chris Paul, man. Did what we couldn't do.
Round of applause for that.
Oh, man. Thank you.
The Steph Curry stopper.
Yeah, man. Literally, he is definitely the Steph Curry stopper. Now, before we get to our next big trade.
No,
AD. Hell no.
There was no thought in that. Okay, guys.
Come on, don't get me started.
Being realistic, I do like Cat. Like on Minnesota, I like Cat. I really do like Karl Anthony Towns. I'm also from Iowa, so I'm probably biased. I like the Timberwolves, right? Do I want Karl Anthony Towns in the Rockets?
No. I'll answer for you.
First off, what do we have to trade? What's the price? They just went to the Western Conference Finals, so no matter how he played, they're gonna ask for a lot. No matter what, right? The only person they're gonna take is Şengün. No. So I'm glad we all answered no.
I don't want that dude as my number one option. I don't want that dude as my number one option at all.
Regular season player who can't perform in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He played well against the Suns, and he played solid against the Nuggets. When he played well, they won. So I just want to put that out there.
He played well, he won, but it also took Super Saiyan Anthony Edwards to get that going. But I give it to him.
He played was having to put up 35.
He was. But your superstar does that. Luka does that. Kyrie does that. That's the duo, right? Because they're, Kyrie's a scorer. Cat is a big man that rebounds and scores at the same time, right? Luka does it all. Kyrie just scores.
Yeah.
So like that's kind of what you're looking at. Like Ant, he can rebound, he can assist. We saw that in the playoffs with his 30, 11, and 9 and 28, 8, and 8 that he put up. But now I'm looking like a Timberwolves fan because I did box score watch too and watch the games. Cat, no. We'll just say no. Pick 3, Tate, Landale, and 1 Brooklyn pick gets it done. And Brooks. It will not get it done. They will think that it doesn't. I don't think it works money wise either. That he makes like 34, 35, I believe 32 maybe. But again, like he's not an Ime guy either. Like he plays harder defense with Rudy Gobert next to him for sure. But Cat is not. He's not an Ime guy, and Ime would probably leave if he saw Karl Anthony Towns on his team. That's just real, but let's talk about the next trade. Ryan, I'm interested. Did you have another trade? So we talked about Mikal Bridges, and Jalen does not want that, man. We do not need the zesty twins over here.
Oh
no,
my.
I don't need that, bro. I already saw what he did to Josh Christopher. I don't want to even think about what he did. Don't even get me started. Brian, is there another trade you got maybe tucked away back there? Any ideas? Otherwise, if not, I'm gonna go and see what Dante's got. Dante, is very excited.
I brought up the idea of trading for Darius Garland a little bit earlier, just while I was talking to Preston pre-podcast. But I mean, if I'm gonna keep it real, no trades. The only acceptable trade is maybe Mikal Bridges, but no trades.
Okay. Yeah.
No,
okay.
we just don't trade, and then we draft Reed Shepherd or Ristisher, and Reed Shepherd can take that Aaron Holiday spot that Aaron Holiday had for us this season, or Ristisher can just get some minutes and produce for us.
80 account, bro. We need to get you a t-shirt.
Oh my goodness.
Gosh. Oh my gosh. All right, that's fair, Ryan. That's fair. Dante, did you have a trade for us? A trade hypothetical for us? We've talked about Paul George, Donovan Mitchell, Jaylen Brown, and now Mikal Bridges finally. And later on, I'm thinking we should attempt to mention in a future podcast talking about Darius Garland. I think he'd be interesting to talk about. But do you have anybody else that you'd be interested in?
The only moves that would make sense if we go out and get Mikal Bridges. I will be opposed to just getting Mikal Bridges. That's it. I will be opposed to trading down in a draft if we don't get the player that we want to get one of TJ's player like Collier or Dalton Connect. That's the only way I will actually trade. Other than that, I would just draft. Other than that, I would just draft. But the only trade that I think would actually make sense is Mikal Bridges, somebody we actually been wanting. Just continue to entertain that trade. If not, you can't get that one. Just picking a draft or the trade down. I'll just say that part.
Okay, all right. Andy, let's get to it, man. You look excited.
I do want Jason Tate on my damn team. I do want that.
He's already gone. I
do want that. I do want that before every other thing go down. I do want that now.
He's not gone yet, but when he's gone, we're throwing a Houston Rockets fan party.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Him and Jock are already at the door. They're waiting at the airport.
Good. Bye, Jock.
So it's what you got for us, T?
So I I think I'm in agreement with everyone that stated Mikal Bridges. I think that makes the most sense. Now, let's say hypothetically, right? Let's say we've tried everything we could. We've kept Jalen Green out of the talks, right? They don't want Dylan Brooks. They don't want their picks back. It's just no solid solution, right? What do you guys think about DeAndre Hunter from the Hawks?
Ooh,
Love,
That's
that's a good one. I think,
have
Good
not
one.
watched a lot of the Hawks, so
I like DeAndre Hunter. I love him, love his game.
okay, but
What's
TJ, where
what's
are
he
you
do?
thinking?
What's
I
Where are
don't
you
have a
thinking?
trade proposal. I didn't get that far in it, but that was someone that I was looking at as far as
We got my boy AD loving it, man. I love DeAndre Hunter. The only issue with DeAndre Hunter, though,
injuries.
I just want him to stay on the court. That's it.
Yes.
He's a very good ball player, a 3-and-D player, something that fits right in Ime Udoka. Can shoot the basketball.
The possession ends here.
He can score. He can get 17 points a night on any given night. I love that. I love DeAndre Hunter. I love him.
And no time is better than now with all the dysfunction that's going on with the Atlanta Hawks organization between what they're going to do at one, who they even want, what's going on with DeJounte Murray and Trae Young. And there were reports the other day that came out that said that they were listening to offers on DeAndre Hunter.
I would give them number 3 for DeAndre Hunter, so then they have the 1 and the 3. I would absolutely do that. Give them the 3 and Dylan Brooks. I'll gladly take DeAndre Hunter. Also throw Tate and Landale in there, and there you are with the thumbs up again.
Yeah, I'm already working on that.
Your little emoji can agree for you.
Yeah, we're looking to see. Actually, they might have to give us more money wise, because Brooks makes 22 and Hunter makes 21. If we're trying to also trade Tate, but you guys, you keep telling us about DeAndre Hunter. Tell the fans about DeAndre Hunter. What does he do good? What doesn't he do well? Obviously, you guys say health, but what's something else he's not doing? What are his strengths and weaknesses? And while I try to see if I can make this work.
That's that 3-and-D guy. And that's somebody that doesn't necessarily need the ball in their hands. He's a more affordable Mikal Bridges, not necessarily the same player, but somebody of the same caliber, right? Only thing that's keeping them back, as you stated, is injuries. There's really no negative, and that adds to our forward bundle, right? I mean, we would have a plethora of forwards we could throw out on the court, and I mean, that's also someone, unfortunately, let's say we go in the season and Jalen Green is not playing up the part. That's somebody who could fill in some minutes for Jalen Green until he gets going again or whatever, right? Because I do want Jalen Green on this team, but that's somebody that I think they could throw out there and say, hey, because he can play guard or forward, and he's going to go get buckets. He's going to be up the best offensive player on the other team, whether it's Kyrie or whoever, and he's going to go make it happen. Now, talking about somebody who's an Ime guy, he's in that tier.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right, I'm going to propose a trade. Y'all can let me know if y'all agree with this. Here's what I would trade for DeAndre Hunter. I'd give the 3rd. I'd give Dylan Brooks. I'd give Tate, and I'd give Landale. And Hunter would fit our team so perfectly well. That's another very big plus about his game. That 3 I'm having just a clip of my head. Imagine Amen Thompson running down court. You have DeAndre Hunter on the corner, and there's 3 defenders in the lane just trying to block Amen. I mean,
True.
As easy as that. Just kick it out to Hunter for a 3. I mean,
true.
He fits our team so well.
That's that plug and play that, I mean, we already have that with the kids, the core 6 that we have. Yep. You just adding, that's really our core 7.
That's
right
our core
there.
7, exactly.
He's still
core
young
7
enough to be considered.
Yep. And he's very young too. He's very young. And again, he's not going to ask for the ball. He's not going to ask for the ball much. He's going to play his role. And I like what I've been a fan of DeAndre Hunter for a long time. Man. So, and man, one thing that impressed me about him, he not scared to guard the number 1 player on the opposing team. And he can shoot, man. He's a really great 3-point shooter. Really, he's always shot at least 37%, at least 37% from the 3-point line. So it's just the one concern is just his injuries. But I think, like I say again, he will be fine. I think he will be fine. I would love that trade if we made that trade. I would love to go that route.
It doesn't with the makeup of this team, he doesn't even need that
yes.
to the point where he gets injured all the time.
Yep. His usage rate don't gotta be high. Yep.
This is how we go forward with this. After this podcast, we get a Rockets Twitter train, of people just tweeting at Rafael Stone saying, trade for I'm blanking. Trade for
DeAndre Hunter.
DeAndre Hunter, yeah.
Yeah.
We really should
Yeah.
just get a Rockets fan train of just people tweeting at Rafael Stone to trade for DeAndre Hunter. Because if it works for you,
Yep.
it can work for the entire fan base.
Yep.
True.
Because I honestly think that's a better route than the Mikal Bridges route.
Okay. I've got a trade that may work. You guys interested? So it would be Dylan Brooks, Jock and Tate with 3 this year's 44 second pick, so the second round pick, and the future 2025 second round pick from Memphis for DeAndre Hunter, Kobe Buffkin, and a future 2027 second round pick.
Ooh.
It works money wise. It works money wise. We get picks. We get a guard. We get DeAndre Hunter. They get an extra center, so that way they have the choice to move Clint Capella if they need to. Otherwise, they have a backup big man. They've got a guy that's also just in general a really good 3-and-D guy in Dylan Brooks, and then they get like the smaller version of Jock Landale and Jayshawn Tate that can just kind of do everything. You know, the jack of all trades, right? The jock of all trades. So there's the ability to kind of to do something with that, but that might be something they might be interested in, to have pick 1 and pick 3. They could package that up with DeJounte Murray to go get like a Donovan Mitchell in a sign and trade to go get, I mean, Jaylen Brown, if they don't win the finals this year, like I just like the media has a really big impact on where players sign, what they say about the team.
Yep.
I mean, we saw on the Instagram live of PJ Washington, Tyler Herro said, "How did you go from the Hornets to the finals?" And he shouted him out and was laughing about making fun of his old team.
Yeah,
So,
Tyler Herro's my favorite player in the league right now.
Yeah, they stink. I make fun of them too. They suck. I make fun of them.
No, they do. They do. It's really interesting to see if this is something that they would do. So, oh my gosh, I don't know about that. I want LeBron and Bronny to stay.
AD, that might be
I don't need
why.
LeBron to come over here and mess up my team, right?
The closest LeBron and Bronny have been to Houston is Bronny playing for the Gulf Coast Blue Chips. That's where the line is drawn.
That where it stopped
Yeah.
at. That's where it stopped
That's
at
where
right
it
there.
stops at.
Yeah, whatever happened to Mikey? Where's Mikey at now?
Mikey is
He just transferred to UCF, right?
UCF. Because I have a guy that I'm real close with, went to my alma mater, Lamarck High School. He actually transferred over there too.
Oh, that's sick.
So he's gonna be playing with Mikey Williams. They got another kid from Memphis.
JJ Taylor.
JJ Taylor.
Yeah, no, it's crazy to think that Mikey, JJ Taylor, and Bronny are my age. Like that's insane to me.
How does it make you feel?
That's
Ty?
cool.
And Wemby. There's a side-by-side picture of me and Wemby because I met him. I look like a child. I literally look like I could be his son.
Hey, no lie, I'm gonna tell you guys a story. So you guys remember when the All-Star game was down here in 2006?
No, I was 2 years old.
You were 2?
I remember.
I was 6 years old, bro. This is you and Dante having the conversation for sure.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay. All right.
You can go ahead and reminisce.
Do you remember when the All-Star game was down here in 2006?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm already uncle, bro. Trust me. So when it was down here in 2006, I got to go to the All-Star Jam Festival, right? Where you get to go and meet the players. Around the time Manu Bol was still alive, and I got to meet him.
Mm-hmm.
So Ryan, how you felt standing next to Wemby? That's how I felt. I was 11 at the time meeting Manu Bol, and his cane was as tall as me. I'm 6'4" now.
Yeah,
but at the time I was like 5'10".
The difference is that you were 11. I'm the same age as Wemby, and we were standing right next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy.
I mean, when he walks, it's like his arms just like flail in the air. It's like it doesn't even look like he can control the way his body moves.
The only thing about being that tall is how clumsy you become, and also more risk for injury and more.
Right.
So he's gonna have to really take care of his body.
Andy, I think this is about you.
How old are you, AD?
I think 80, like 44 years old or something.
Yeah.
He ain't that old. He ain't that old. I think he's 34, 35.
34, 35.
That's not young. That's not old.
Yeah.
I think that's still young. I think
Yep.
That's young, man. You know, old as he's 35. Man, I'm good, man.
35.
Yeah,
man,
see, he's not young.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
1 year young. I'm
He's
1 year
still
younger than
young.
AD. I'm 1 year younger.
Yeah, he's not 36 yet. He's not pushing 40, so he's chilling.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He ain't a retired NBA vet yet, man. Don't worry. He's
Yeah,
straight.
exactly. Retired Twitter vet.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So
Little
you guys
tweet.
do agree that maybe DeAndre Hunter is
Yes,
somebody.
I
Yes.
like DeAndre Hunter.
I like that more than
this
more
team.
than the McCall Bridges trade. We need to get a Rockets fan Twitter chain of just fans
Either
saying
trade,
that
either
Raphael's
one of
going
those I wouldn't
trade.
be mad at. Either one of those I'm not mad at. Either one of those I'm not mad at.
Yeah, look, I don't like I said, I don't know much about DeAndre Hunter. But if that trade would be something that they'd be interested in with getting Kobe and DeAndre Hunter, I think that would be something that we should definitely look into.
Hey, actually, I would think by you adding Kobe Buffkin in, I think he would have a chance to play because Aaron Holiday is a free agent too. So I know guaranteed he would come back. He would come back. So only thing Kobe Buffkin will be behind is Thompson because Fred VanVleet just had probably this year and Thompson will take over and damn, there goes Kobe right there because Kobe much younger too.
I'm so excited for Amen Thompson to take over.
Yeah, he's got a lot of potential. Before we get into Amen potential, just real quick, this is gonna be the last thing before we go. We got off the tangent. We derailing. We got Andy here. We got all nervous. We don't know how to act. So let's Ryan, tell us about Amen real quick. We'll all give our thoughts, and we're gonna close out. Sound good, guys?
I just really don't want to wait another year to see Amen start. That's all I wanted to say. I really don't want to wait. I mean, by the time Amen's going to be starting point guard, I'm going to be a junior in college. Like, I'm not waiting for that.
Yeah, AD be like 67 years old. You want the SeaWorld? Yeah, we did. We did a little bit. Shout out SeaWorld, man. He over on the Texans pod. He be getting off tangents. He be going crazy, but it's good crazy. Is that Houston Strom crazy? You know what I'm talking about, y'all. It's crazy for me because I'm from Iowa, but you know what it is.
But by the time Amen is starting, I'm going to be old. I'll be over 20.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Oh, man. Look.
Yeah, Dante doesn't seem too amused by that.
Yeah. He's like, nah, bro. Yeah, man. Look, here's the thing. Amen go get his time. I think other players are going to get their time. But it is time to end for us. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening on this podcast episode. Now, if you guys are interested, should we try to trade for DeAndre Hunter? Should we try to trade for Mikal? Let us know down below. Should we just draft? Comment in the comments down below on all of them. We got YouTube for everybody, our Twitter, my Twitch account. Comment down below, letting us know your thoughts on that. And enter to win for Atari Eason, Spider-Man inspired bobblehead. Yep, we still giving them away. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and comment down below. Everybody, tell them where you can plug you in at. Starting off with TJ, man. Let us know where we can find you. Tell us where we can get a hold of you when I can speak to you at night when I get lonely. Let them know.
Well, you guys can certainly follow me at TJ Anderson NBA. Make sure you guys follow my YouTube channel. It is Clutch City Connect. You can actually type it in the search engine, and it should pop up, especially the Von Wafer video. You guys make sure you check that out. You can also follow us at Clutch City CNT23 on Twitter as well. That's where you can find me. You can have them late night talks with me when you're lonely.
Yes, sir. I'm excited. Oh, Dante, man, where can we find you, man? You got your own YouTube channel. You got an Instagram. You got a Twitter account, man. Where can we find you, man?
Man, y'all can find me on X/Twitter. Coach Dante 31. Y'all can find me on my YouTube channel, Coach Dante. Y'all can find me on here as well on the Rocket side. Sometimes I'll be on the Texan side too, talking Texans because I'm all around Houston. So sometimes I'll be on AD podcast, the Boss Man podcast, talking Texans with them. Y'all can find me on Instagram at Coach Dante 31.
All right, man. Yeah, we're gonna check out his YouTube, bro. His YouTube goes crazy over there. He's also jumping on sometimes the 7,200 seconds podcast. He's really fun over there. It's very exciting. Ryan, man, where can we find you before we finally get off the pod, man? Where can I plug you in?
All right. So the last 3 podcasts I've been on, I've been wrong. My IG is at Ryan Diamond 15, so you can find me there. And on Twitter, it is Ryan Dime 15.
There we go. This time, you guys can actually go follow him. Get him some love. This guy is gonna be a reporter. He's going to college, man. He's got a lot of good stuff lined up, man. So go check him out. Ryan, you're gonna be on a radio show at some point, right?
Yeah. So I'm actually interning with ESPN 97.5 right now here in Houston. And so it was mentioned to me this morning about potentially being on air on Monday morning at 9 a.m. So tune in on Monday morning at 9 a.m.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yes, sir. Congratulations, man.
Nothing's 100% confirmed, but it was mentioned, and we'll move on and see what happens.
We will move on indeed. You guys can follow me at drip2piece_GAWD on my X account, guys. Be sure to follow my Instagram as well. That's drip2piece_GAWDD2Ds2Ps. Guys, thank you for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Be sure to follow this account at the HTownRundown on our X, YouTube, Instagram. That's all we got for you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. We will see you next time. Andy, man, thank you for joining. Thank you for being here. You guys have a good night.